In this video, we'll review the process of adding documents to your opportunity and submitting your opportunity for compliance review. When you open your opportunity and switch over to your Documents tab, making sure that you have the correct state identified. If you choose to link your transaction to DocuSign, that will give you an easy connection between your DocuSign transaction room and uploading documents into Command. So for each document that's listed on the compliance checklist, over on the far right-hand side, we can click Add a File. We'll identify where we want to get that document from. We have the option of manual, which is dragging and dropping from your computer or finding it on your file. If you are connected to DocuSign, you'll have a third option that'll appear here in the middle that says DocuSign. This is a test transaction, and my DocuSign transaction room does not have any documents in it, so that option is not appearing. Or if I have documents in my custom folder, I can select custom folder to move it into one of my compliance folders. So we're going to manually add a document and assign. Once we do that, we can open the document by clicking on it over on the right-hand side and get a preview of the document we've uploaded for compliance review. As we're looking at this and we realize that perhaps we attached the wrong copy, you can actually come into the three dots over on the far right and click Remove. The Remove function only exists until you have submitted this opportunity for compliance review. Once you submit, you no longer have the option to remove documents. So a quick check to make sure you have the right documents attached. And once you have attached all of the documents you have ready to submit, your button here has now become live, Submit to Market Center. This button is what puts this opportunity to the reviewing broker's attention for compliance review. Without clicking this button, Jim and I do not know that you have a file waiting for us to review. So very important to make sure that you take the step of clicking Submit to Market Center. We can go through this compliance checklist, add all of the documents that we have. Perhaps you have a document that doesn't fit any of the descriptions that is here. You can create a custom document by clicking Add Item. Give that document a name. So in this case, we have an HOA lien notice. This is going to be part of the seller disclosure, and we're going to drag and drop from our computer and add. That custom item will appear down at the bottom of the list, and again, you can preview it, you can remove it before you submit for compliance review. Once you are ready to submit, don't forget, very important button to push so that we know that your file needs to be reviewed. Click Submit to Market Center. The system is going to ask, are you sure? Yes, we're sure. And that's going to change the status of this compliance folder to Submitted. That then is going to be on Jim and my dashboard so that we know we need to do compliance review. While it's in submitted status, you still have the ability to come in and add additional documents, but you no longer have the ability to remove a document. Everything in here now becomes a permanent element of this transaction. What you do have is the ability to replace a document. So if you realize after submitting a document that you added the wrong copy, you can click Replace. You need to explain why. Signature included. And drag and drop the correct document and click Replace. When you do that, the most recent addition is what's going to appear, and when we click on it, it's the most recent one. You'll notice the status of this document has changed to Replaced, and there's a little note icon that includes your note for why you were replacing this document. We can still see the original version by clicking on the three dots and looking at version history. When we do that, we're going to see the most current version first, and then we can toggle through and see the original version as well. So you continue to add documents, your goal being that all 3 of your compliance folders, rather than saying submitted or returned, you want to see approved next to all of them. So just to give you an understanding of what it looks on the other side of this when we're doing compliance review, your command is not going to have CloudMore. That is something that only the MCA and reviewing broker departments have access to, and that's where we do our compliance review. So we come into compliance requests, and here is our seller test. And I'm going to do compliance review on this file. I'm going to open the document, and I have the option to either approve the document or reject. I can also click on version history to see what you had previously uploaded. So even the previous version is a permanent element of this contract. So as I review this document, this one looks good. I'm going to approve it. And you'll notice the status of that document changes to approved. The other document we had to review was down at the bottom. We're going to open this one up. In this case, I'm going to reject this document. Whenever I reject, the system requires that I put a note in the system explaining what is missing in order for you to get this item approved. So I'm going to start by adding my initials so that you know who to contact if you have questions regarding what's missing in this file. Seller initials missing and reject document. When I do that, the status is rejected, and there's a little note icon. If you hover over it, you can see my initials, CG, and seller initials missing. The last thing I'm going to do at compliance review is determine, is this file fully approved or is action needed by the broker on this? In this case, this file is not approved, so I'm going to change the status of the compliance folder to returned, meaning I'm putting it back to the agent's attention. So let's switch back to the agent view and see what's received on that end. Once that compliance review took place, a little red dot appears on your notification bell. When we click on it, it lets us know that there was a problem that needs to be fixed in our opportunity, and we can click here to see the details. When we click here, it's going to take us straight to our opportunity, and we can open documents. We can now see that the opportunity's been returned, one document's been approved, and one document's been rejected. And we realize, oh, we were missing seller initials. I had those, so we can go through the process of replacing the document with the corrected version. So we'll go back and forth doing compliance review on all of these documents. The ones listed as required need to be included. Conditionally required, if the property or the contract requires it, those will become a required element of the contract. And the optional. If you have optional documents that you're adding to the file for risk reduction, you also have the ability to add as many custom documents as you need to by clicking Add Item here at the top. Just please remember that Submit to Market Center is that critical step. You need to click that button in order for Jim and I to know that your file is ready for review. All contracts must be submitted within 5 business days so that Jim and I can meet the state compliance requirement of review within 7 business days.